morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitchlight Chronicles, where fans become family. I am Uncle Tats. I am here with Rob and Donald. Sorry for a little bit of a delay. As you can see, I am still having issues with the PC. So I am again on my phone. But be that as it may, we do have some good baseball to actually talk about. And I want to start it off with the starter from last night. Rodon, I think we can easily say last year was just he never got into his rhythm with the injuries. This is the starter that we signed. This is what we all wanted, right? Because we all, everybody was saying you have to get Rodon. We got him. Last year was just trash, but this year he's been filthy. He had probably one of his better games last night since we signed him. And gave up the one run, and then just completely just shut it down, and they didn't know what to do with him. So, how are you guys feeling about Rodon? And is he at that point where he's really redeemed himself?
Anyone, a blind person, could have told you that an injured Rodon was not very good last year, and that he would have been better. So, the Yankees knew what they were getting with him. It was just a matter of making sure he was healthy. It's difficult to assess a guy when he dealt with 3 separate injuries. He had a delayed start to his season, and he was trying to pitch through those 3 separate injuries, a back injury, an arm injury, and then eventually a hamstring. I mean, you tried doing that and tell me how successful you're going to be. Anyone who watches baseball could tell you the guy was going to be better, and he's been a lot better. And we needed him to be. With Garrett Cole out, we needed Rodon to step up and be that one. So far, he has been. And yesterday was a great sign to see him bounce back quickly after giving up a home run. The first batter, I think it was, homered off of him.
Yep.
Second pitch. And then he gives up another hit. You thought it was going to spiral, and it didn't spiral. So that's exactly what you want out of the top of the rotation guy. He was fantastic, and he's been great all season long. He's had a couple of rough starts, but that's to be expected. It's baseball. He's been great. He's been everything you could have asked of him for these first couple of months.
Donald, how do you feel about Rodon?
Rodon made light work of them.
Yeah.
What I love is that, well, first of all, I loved their offensive approach. I thought our offense the approach at the plate was fantastic. And once we got the lead, then he just pitched pretty much perfect baseball. He didn't allow base runners. He just made very light work of the Twins. So, what more can I say? But what I can say is hello to everybody in the chat. Jonathan, 01, Stevie B, NFE. Good morning to all of you guys. Joan, good morning. Mr. Barros, good morning. And we have Damian Serrano. Good morning to Damian. Good morning to Medina. Good morning to Medina there. Salute to everyone in the chat. And if he says here, I had all the confidence in the world with Rodon going into the season. He's proven it, man. He's proven you right. And to be honest, I think we all had high hopes for him. Cold Italian Pizza's hopped in there. What's happening, guys? Yankee Universe. That's right. Yeah, salute to Yankee Universe. Salute to you, Cold Italian Pizza. Yeah, you know what, Rodon, full credit to him, man. Now that he's healthy, his approach is excellent, and he's locked in, and he's given us quality start after quality start after quality start. Look at his numbers, man. 4.2, 3.31 ERA. This is pretty much what you would ask of any top line pitcher. Can't ask much more than that from Rodon, man. And shout out to the offense as well. The approach was excellent. So, to be honest, that was as good a game as you could ask for, where the pitching was excellent, our approach to the plate was excellent, lots of hits, and very comfortable ninth inning from the best closer in baseball, Clay Holmes. Still got a 0.00 ERA, which is the best of any pitcher that's qualified to have ERA, and he's got it 0.00 ERA. Boom, no problem that ninth inning. So that was as comfortable a win as you could ask for.
Yeah, no, I think it really.
I think pigs are flying because Donald just called Clay Holmes the best closer in baseball. Let me check again.
That's right.
Yep. Pigs
That's
are
right,
definitely
baby.
flying.
No bias here in the Pinstripe Chronicles. Salute
Yeah,
to
I like
Carlos, Rodon, and
this comment here from Nosebleed. Rodon has stepped up as the ace until Cole returns, and that's really what we've seen from him. I think we've been able to get a better view because he's now the spotlight's on him, and he has risen to the occasion. And he's handled the job, and this is what happens when you actually have a full spring training. That's why you could almost forget about last year. Because he's really, like I said in the beginning, this is the guy that this is what we were hoping for. This is what we were expecting. But Donald, to your point, I think you're spot on. This really was a very complete game up and down between the starting, the rotate, the bullpen, and the bats. The defense was good. Everything was clicking last night, and this is what we should expect to see more often than not, and we have, which is why we have the record we do. We've had issues where the bats might have been quiet, but the pitching, picked it up. If the pitchers were having a rough inning, the bats would figure out a way to come back later in the game, because we've had more rallies than so far this start of the season than we did all of last year. So it does give you that confidence that this is going to be one of those years where you can expect the unexpected, and you can expect everybody to have a stretch where they are the contributors to the success. And last night was one of those nights, especially when you look at that, a line drive from Stanton can go, a long way. He was another one that he just continues to see the ball well. Volpe is continuing to see the ball well. Wells, we can't ignore Wells. He had a great game also, at the plate and behind the plate, navigating with the pitching. But this is something where you want to go on the road. You had, and you wanted to, we all say it's the Twins. They never beat us. But every year the rosters change. And the Twins are having a pretty decent year. It's not like we're not just beating up on bottom of the barrel teams. We're competing against other teams that are competing, and we're coming out on top. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Twins have been great. Now, let's not sugarcoat it. They've been a really good team this year. So to go on the road and beat them the way we did is nice. Everyone had a hit. Everyone contributed. Some guys are starting to really heat up. I think it was huge about the second inning where we scraped a couple of runs across to come right back. And it was some small ball in there. And then you had the Stanton home run and the Verdugo hit. And that's all you needed. And then Joan mentioned it earlier about Ian Hamilton. He looked great. 2 innings of work, and he hasn't looked good in a long time. It's been a couple of weeks where he struggled, and he looked great yesterday. And then obviously Clay Holmes shut it down. That's what you want to see. When you have a guy like Rodon starting, you're expecting small numbers offensively from the other team. And if you can just scrape a few runs across the board, you're probably going to go ahead and win with the back end of our bullpen. And that's exactly what we got against a good team. And hopefully that is a continuation of what we're going to see rest of the year when we play good teams. I want to see that next time we play Baltimore. Obviously, that's been our worst series. But the fact that we, so far, were able to take care of business against the Rays. We beat up on the Brewers. We beat up on the Tigers, who are playing pretty well. We're not beating these bottom-of-the-barrel teams. I mean, we didn't look very good against Oakland, and Oakland's not a very good team. So that's just baseball. Yet the Yankees have come out there and they looked really good. So let's just keep it rolling. Everything was perfect yesterday, and that's one of the better overall games we've seen. Like complete effort all around, pitching, offense, defense. There were really no gaps going on. Everyone contributed, and that's the team win right there.
As Mr. Barrow says here, last night's game was a complete team effort. They really looked great. It was a team effort. Let's hop into the offense a little bit. I loved the approach. Really, it was like hit strikes hard. That was exactly what they were doing. He was leaving change ups over the middle of the plate a lot, and we were really on top of the guy's changeups. I thought that was a big thing. But to be honest, even the fastballs we were hitting very, very hard as well. Fastballs and changeups we were hitting all hard. We had, how many hits did we have, man? We had over 12 in the first 4 innings anyway. So we had a great approach. Shout out to Volpe, by the way. Not only did he line a really hard hit line drive, but also that little bunt single the other way. Salute to Volpe for that, man. That was really smart because the third baseman, he clocked that the third baseman was way out of position, and he put it right where he wasn't. Bunt single with 2 outs as well. That does not happen, and he did it. Showing his speed, showing his baseball IQ. That's the kind of stuff I want to see from a leadoff hitter, and he provided that. Also, shout out to Castro for being such a terrible center fielder. He's a really bad center fielder.
Yeah, you took some rough routes to the ball.
Oh, bro. Holy moly. Stevie Wonder in center field.
Yeah, that was it, the Verdugo double that he just I was like, where is he going? I thought it was going to be caught. I'm glad he didn't catch it.
Yeah, that was a terrible route. But no, with Volpe, that's why I was saying I don't think it's where he's hitting in the lineup. I just think he was, he had such a hot start. He was leveling out. So it's now you're seeing him. Good morning, Grace. How is everything going?
It was great. Thanks for joining
us. You're seeing that it wasn't so much where he was in the lineup. It was just him readjusting to his spot in the lineup. Because I said a couple weeks ago, they made the adjustment. They're pitching him different because of who's behind him with Soto and Judge. And it was just going to be a matter of time before he readjusted his approach that he gets on base for those guys. And now we're seeing that's actually starting to come into fruition. Yeah, Volpe's been absolutely fine. And I think that it was just a hiccup. Just the way, Judge had his rough start. We still don't know. I'm still not sure which direction Torres is going, although he had some good at-bats. I just don't. I still don't like him. And I don't like him. I just don't trust him. But
Sure.
they're winning games, so you can let it. You can kind of not have that be him be the focal point.
Yankees lead the AL in run differential, plus 59. Salute to Cool Italian Pizza.
Good stat. Glaber's been better lately. Let's give him a little credit. He hit the home run the other night in Tampa Bay, and I think he's just overall over maybe the last week or so, his at bats have been a lot better. I still don't trust him defensively at all, but if he's swinging the bat like this, you're going to keep him in the lineup, and obviously he'll figure out what to do with DJ and stuff like that. But hopefully he can get it going because we know what he can be when he's good. And if he starts getting going the way he was a year ago, this lineup's going to be even better. So we should all be rooting for Gleyber Torres. And hopefully that if he starts to get going offensively, that can help him defensively. That's all I ask, because I know that he's not this bad defensively, because we've seen him be very good at second base. Just a couple of years ago, the guy was a plus defender and a plus hitter. He was one of the best second basemen in baseball. So I know this is not him. I feel like the struggles early on and being in a contract year, we're getting to him. Hopefully he can just relax a little bit, use this hot streak as a way to get him going on both sides, because he can be a very good player. And we need him to be, because he's not going anywhere, whether people like it or not, unless they decide to move him in the next couple of months, which I don't see happening. So we just seeing Gleyber swinging a better bat lately is a good sign, because like you said earlier, anybody can step up at any given time. Austin Wells is really swinging a hot bat lately. Trevino's been red hot. Volpe's been red hot. Judge has been boiling hot. Soto can have a 1-for-4 night like he did yesterday, and it wouldn't even matter because everyone else is stepping up. Stanton's hitting laser beams out of the freaking ballpark. Everything's clicking right now. So if we can get Glaber's back going, that makes this entire offense better.
Yeah, what about Big G? I was so impressed with that swing. He really extended with that changeup. Do you know how hard that is? Because that was a changeup that was actually very well located. It was the outer half of the plate, and he extended and used all his strength to absolutely annihilate that into the bullpen, and at an 18-degree launch angle, and mashed it with the typical Stanton way, where it's just like one of the hardest hit balls of the year. Just absolutely mashes it, and he did that with a changeup, where he had to generate all the strength and all the power behind himself because, damn, that was a well located pitch, and he absolutely mashed it. So, you know what? Let's give some credit to Big G. We've always been a podcast that supports Big G. Other podcasts have been overly harsh on this guy. Dude mashes, man. He's having a very good start to the year. He's only behind Aaron Judge in the home runs.
Yeah, he's top 20 in the league. He's tied with a bunch of people, Soto included, who are like ninth. They all have 9. So he's been just fine. Everything that at least I'll speak for myself. All I asked for Stanton was, I don't care about your batting average. You can hit 230. You can hit whatever you want to hit average wise. Just give me home runs, give me a good OPS, and drive in some runs in the middle of that order. So far, he's done just that. So he's checked all the boxes I was asking him, because my expectations were low this year for him because he struggles so much.
If he could just cut down on the strikeouts just a little bit, just a percentage or two, then he will
get that on base up.
Yes. He'll have significantly more home runs, I think, if he could just ease up on the strikeouts. But everyone in the chat, say a big hello to Mike Perez and Grace. As we say, this is a podcast where friends become family, and I love to see lots of new people in the chat every day, so we do really appreciate that and salute that. Hit the like button while you're at it. Hit the sub button as well if you haven't already done so. Let's continue to grow this family. So big salute to all you guys. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. We've got
Petruzzi has a request for you.
Jacob Petruzzi. Donald, you have to change your name. He isn't a one-man show anymore. Yeah, but you know what? I like it. One-man show. No one else has come up with that. It's unique. Smart. See, I've got a good brain. Here you go, Jacob. So anyway, salute to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button.
Yeah, and another comment here from Cold Italian Pizza. You blink and you miss a Stanton home run, which is absolutely true.
Big G-force.
Yeah, we saw in the previous series. He had that one home run. It was 118 point something, which was the hardest, which was the fastest home run hit in the season for any team, for any player. And then the next day, he's like, I could do better than that. And he hits one, 120. So Stanton, like Bob said, Stanton's never been the problem. Well, I don't say he's never been the problem. He hasn't been the problem because there were a lot of other guys that weren't stepping up to the plate either. We were waiting for the catches to get themselves going, but Torres was having his struggles. Oswaldo kind of cooled off a little bit. Lopez was going through his skid, when they moved him up. But I think when you get a player like Stanton, he's a professional. He's at that veteran stage. He knows what he's got to do. He's made the adjustments that he's had to. It was, it's just a matter of time before it all comes together. Right now, we're seeing that stretch where it's all coming together. And just like I said, on Monday, enjoy the ride. Don't worry about what's going to happen next series. Just enjoy what you're getting out of Stanton.
Dolan now, but Dominguez is climbing up.
Yeah, he finally showed up yesterday. For the Tampa Tarpons, he had a hit in his first swing, I think, against Domingo Germán. So
there we go.
Take that, you piece of garbage. Did you see that they are tracking bat speed now, and the Yankees have 3 of the top 10 in the league in that category?
Yeah,
Stanton leads the league.
Stanton, Judge, and Soto.
Yep. Yeah. Stanton has an 80.6 average bat speed, which is pretty damn fast. Magic getting hit by that for all you Sopranos fans. Aaron Judge 76.5 and Soto 76.1.
I see.
That's pretty
I even got the order right. Damn. Boom. I'm on fire.
pretty impressive.
It's look. This comment here from Joe. As long as we don't see Stanton in the outfield, we're good. I don't think we're going to have to worry about Stanton in the outfield. Not with the depth that we have. Not with Dominguez coming back. Look, is this going to make cause an issue with Dominguez coming back? What do you do? It's very easy. You just swap him and Grisham. It's not rock. I don't think it's that big of a decision. Grisham has done absolutely nothing. You bring you get rid of him. You put Dominguez in as your backup outfielder. This way, you don't have to put the pressure on him of having to perform every day, and it gives you the flexibility of because he could play left and center. Gives you the opportunity to kind of shuffle guys around a little bit, give off days, give rest days. It's not that big a deal, but while we are talking about guys that
and that's a good point because then you could also trade Grisham for a reliever.
Yeah,
because he'll still have some value as a Gold Glove caliber center fielder with a little bit of pop. He could really help a National League team. I think that could maybe do with a little bit of a boost. Heck, you could probably send him to the Twins. He'd be really appreciated in Minnesota because he actually can field the position.
I don't see Dominguez going anywhere. Like I don't see him being that bench because he has to DH right now. That's why they're using him in the rehab games at DH. So that's where Jones comments from because Stanton's not playing the outfield anytime soon. We don't need him to. Grisham's there to be a defensive breather for Aaron Judge, and he's a very good defensive center fielder. We knew what we were getting with him. He was a guy that's not going to hit very well and might pop a few. He has one so far. At this rate, he'll finish with like 4, but it is what it is with him. I don't want to see Dominguez get called up to be a rotational outfielder. I would much rather him just play in the minors until they absolutely need him, because they can't do that to him. So I think that he just needs to keep. Yeah, there you go. Just keep him down there until he's needed. Because right now, Verdugo's playing too well to sit him. Exactly, he's too young. Judge, you're not sitting him, and you're not sitting Soto, and Stanton's hitting. So you already have Cabrera that can play the outfield. Jahmai Jones just played the outfield the other day. We have guys coming back. There's no need to rush Dominguez back, but when he does get here, that means that someone's either hurt or they've made a move, and maybe they move Verdugo at the deadline. I don't think that's happening at all, but unless something like that happens, then I don't think we're going to see Dominguez, which is perfectly fine because that means that we're playing so well. We still have this kid in our back pocket when we need him. And to see him already playing in rehab games this early is a good sign because his rehab's going well. But let him come back gradually. Right now, we don't need him. That's a good thing. We don't need him right now, and that's a very good thing.
That's right. No, it's true. And salute to Nosebleed section. Dominguez needs steady work, not a bench piece. That's the correct way of protecting your young guys and developing them. Use the minor leagues for that. So yeah, it's the right call. We're in a good shape though because Stanton is playing very well, and I can't ask much more than what Stanton's giving you at the DH spot. It's pretty much what you'd ask for as a DH, someone that's got an OPS of just under 800 and is second in the team in home runs. That's kind of what you pretty much ask for your DH. So it means that we don't have to rush Dominguez, which is great too. And heck, Dominguez is going to be there for us next year, or maybe even late in the year, maybe in August, September, when our guy in the dog days, when we probably need to give some guys a rest, whatever, he can come in and play regularly. So yeah, we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, no, I was taking the approach of you can get him back into the minor, into the major league roster and get him involved without overworking him coming right back from injury. So but you guys, I do agree that if I do think it is the right thing to do for him to play every day, and that's not going to happen on the major league unless they get rid of unless they move Verdugo. because that's the only one that you can move right now.
Well, even still, he's going to be a DH because
Yeah.
they're wanting to rehab his arm, make sure.
Yeah, and I won't be happy if that can't happen. Yeah, we have 1 year with him. Let's ride the whole thing out. But and everything will fix itself next year. The other guy that's on their way back is we saw that LeMahieu is getting into some rehab games. But what are the expectations with LeMahieu? He still hasn't. I think that like guys like Dominguez, more so with LeMahieu and Cole, there was really no spring training. So it's just because they're healthy doesn't mean they're going to come back right away.
No, that's spot on, man. He's going to need a full spring. It's essentially a full spring training. He's not going to be rushed back. He's going to need a full rehab assignment. It won't be a case of just playing one or two. I think he'll need a full rehab assignment before he's considered. So, I mean,
I still think they're a month away from really getting called back up.
I'm not going to hold my breath on DJ because last time they put him out there, ended up hurting his foot again. Or his foot was still hurt. I'm just going to wait until the day he's activated, then I'll have my expectations for him. So hopefully he can get through this, give him as much time as he needs. They're doing the same thing with Peraza because he's looked great, but they're continuing to use him in rehab games. I'm hoping that Peraza gets the spot when he's fully ready. I really want to see
really?
him.
You actually pushed Peraza first before DJ?
At this point, I don't know when DJ's coming back because everything they've told us, the opposite has happened. Like, oh, he's going to be back. They thought he was going to be ready by opening day, and obviously it's May fucking 15th right now. So where is he? I don't know how long this thing is going to linger. I think that Peraza has shown that he's swinging a really hot bat right now. It's the minor leagues. I want to see him get an actual extended period of time here because there's still talent that they have yet to actually unlock with this kid. And they have done him so wrong, and he's still 23. It's not like he's a past his prime prospect. This kid's got so many years ahead of him that they have not been able to tap into that potential. I don't want him to be the next Florial. So I think if Peraza is ready within the next couple of days or so, or the next week, call him up. I like Jahmai Jones, but if you're going to tell me Jahmai Jones is holding a roster spot over Peraza, you're crazy. I know he had a home run the other day, but I would rather see Peraza get extended playing time, whether that's at third or at second. And then when DJ's back in the next month or so, whatever it may be, then you have a decision to make. But I want to see Peraza get a shot. And with DJ hurt, Cabrera either hitting or he's kind of up and down, especially defensively, you can afford to put Peraza in there and give him everyday playing time at second or third.
Well, I know, but let's think about this because this is actually very interesting. We've actually got some legit talent coming through here in the infield. Let's look at this. Torres, they're going to play him every day. They're just not going to not because, listen, Torres has been an abomination since day one of this season, and the Yankees have played him every day. So now he's finally starting to not look like an abomination. They're certainly not going to drop him, right? So he's going to play every day. Right, Volpe's playing every day in short, right, and then that leaves you third base, right. But then you've also got Birdie, and I'm a big Birdie fan. And every time I see Birdie, I want to see more of Birdie because I love that he can play really good defense, and he's got speed, and he's got those little intangibles elements that I kind of like at the bottom of the order. But then you've also got Ozzie, and Ozzie from the left side is an assassin. Ozzie from the left side has been fantastic, and I think the Yankees are actually just basically focusing him now as a full-time left side of the plate guy, which is going to make him even better offensively because I know he's technically a switch hitter, but I think he's basically only a good from the left side. He's not very good from the right side at all. So he sees the ball much better from the left side. His defense hasn't been great, but it's certainly not to the point where it's a liability. Like Torres has actually been worse, in my opinion, at second than Ozzie has been at third. So where is the room for Peraza? Because it's the same kind of situation as Dominguez. You don't want to call up Dominguez and have him be a fourth outfielder and to set the bench. You don't want to call up Peraza and just have him be utility infielder and trying to share time with another utility infielder and Aussie, right? And then you got DJ LeMahieu. Where's he going to play? Because he needs to play every day. So the Yankees actually do have a bit of a crunch here, and I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work out, because you're spot on, Rob. They have done Peraza wrong. There's so much more that Peraza has to offer that the Yankees haven't allowed him to really offer. Having said that, where is the space in the infield for him to play every day?
Right now, I mean, it's not like with Dominguez, where Dominguez needs every day. Well, they both need every day at bats, but Peraza's already proven to you that he can handle the minors. So there's nothing more that he's going to be able to do in AAA that you haven't already seen. The guy killed minor league pitching last year and the year before that. If you send down Jahmai Jones, I think he's got an option left. They might have to DFA him, which they don't want to do. Or maybe you move Grisham now, right? And then you can use Cabrera as the backup outfielder again. I just think if there's a way to get him out there, I said this all offseason, I would rather they have traded him when they had the chance, Peraza, because they have no plan for him. And now that they got that fourth option, that's the most likely thing. They're going to send him to AAA and just leave him there and hope that somebody sees value in him. He has no options, right? So they'd have to DFA him, Jahmai Jones. I know they're going to send Peraza down. I know it's going to happen. But personally, I think if you can maneuver things a little bit, you can get Peraza up here and play him at third. You can put Cabrera in the outfield if need be on a day. Play him, or you can even DH him and give Stanton a day off. You can DH Torres to give Stanton a day off. You could put Cabrera at first because we don't really have a backup first baseman right now. And that's just Rizzo. And Rizzo's going to need some days off here and there. So there's ways to make it happen. I think Peraza serving as that all-around utility guy, or Cabrera being that guy, and Peraza can play second or third, they could make it work. I know that's probably not going to happen, but if you're not going to let him show you what he can do now, then you have to trade him. And right now his value is worth a bag of baseballs at this point because he doesn't have value anymore. You got to hope that you can show that he has something that another teams would be like, hey, we'll if we put him as part of a package, we can get a bigger move. So that's my thinking.
What about trading Gleyber Torres? That's almost the most logical because we're not extending him. That would be the stupidest move if we extended him. So maybe if we got a little bit of something for Gleyber now, you can then move Birdie to his comfortable position at second. DJ LeMahieu could also play second at Gold Glove level. And then you've left third base open for Ozzie, who kind of merited it, and Peraza can play third as well. That
could work.
That, to be honest, makes the most sense. Because it's not like Gleyber's giving you any offense. Look at his OPS. It's 5.69. That OPS is completely below average.
Yeah. I mean, unless we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I think Peraza could be activated. I don't know when he's supposed to be. It might not be till June because he's on the 60-day. Same thing with Dominguez. So they have time. That's the beauty of it. They do have time to make a decision here. But I want to see Peraza play. I don't want them trading for anybody. I see Jason with the caps lock on talking about Ryan McMahon. I don't want a part of a big trade for a third baseman. I don't think we need it. I would rather just give the playing time to guys like Birdie or to a guy like Peraza. We're going to get DJ back. I don't see them needing to go out and make a big trade for a third baseman. We have several options right now, and I would much rather see what Peraza can give you.
I'd rather go after the first base depth than the third base depth. I think first base is where we kind of need a little some backup for Rizzo.
But we will have that with DJ LeMahieu and Ozzie.
Well, yeah, that's I don't think we need to make a move, and I don't think they're going to make. I don't even think they're going to make a move until they have to, and I think they're going to be very cautious of who they move. I don't think Torres is going to be one of those. They've stuck with him this long. Why would they give up on him now? No, they're going to ride him out. They're going to throw him the qualifying offer and go from there. So, it's. I still think it's. You're going to see everything work itself out. Whether it's for better or worse. That's always what happens. It always, everything irons out at the end, and everything falls into place. I think that we're going to see.
What's the point in talking about it? Huh?
No, I'm not saying it's not worth it.
It'll all iron itself out. Whatever.
Because we could talk about all different scenarios, but every scenario that we're talking about all fits, or all a reality. We're not, it's not like we're coming up with these crazy ideas like some people in the community, but it's just one of those. I just don't think that moving Torres is going to get us anything at all. I'd rather just ride out with the guys that we have and see what we got, because we're not going to want to trade for anybody that has a big contract, because we're going to, even though we have money coming off the books, you're also going to want to absorb the contract, because we're going to have to pay Soto, and you're going to want some of these younger players that are not making the big money to kind of balance out the budget.
Let's ask Rubinho here. Next season, maybe you see Rumfield for first base. Rumsfeld.
TJ Rumfield has really shot up a lot of people's boards lately, because going into this year, he was a little bit lower on the prospect top 30s. He was very good defensively, but his bat took a little bit of a step down, but he's starting to hit again. He's still striking out. I think he actually has cut down those strikeouts a little bit, but Joan doesn't need the readers with Jason. Yeah, you don't need that with Jason. You can see that from a mile away with Jason typing. You can be sitting all the way back there. You're going to see that comment. But no, Rumfield's certainly an option. If they don't pick up Rizzo's option, which I don't think they will, they don't really have a first baseman on the roster technically, unless you put DJ there. Rumfield could be that guy. He's lefty. He's got pop. He's fantastic defensively. This is a guy that could absolutely put himself in the conversation next year, not knowing what they're going to do with Rizzo. Assuming Rizzo's there, then we don't got to worry about first base. But if Rizzo's not there, Rumfield could absolutely run away with that first base job. So they have a very good, and they have Ben Rice also. They have a very, very good problem, so to speak, in their system, because the corner or first base specifically is probably their weakest position in the system. Yeah. But now with a Rumfield stepping up, they have guys coming back from injury that can play first. They just released Spencer Henson from the minor leagues, but hoping Rice some actual playing time at first now. They can create some first base, and there's also the draft coming up. But Rumfield's a guy that I really, really like, and I have liked him for a while, and I'm hoping that he gets the shot next year.
I do really like Rice. I keep an eye out on Rice. He's someone to keep an eye on. But and if he's got a good point here, Yankees have a lot of catcher options. Do you know what? Trevino has actually been a really good two-way player right now. Like, his defense started really badly. We called him out, but since then his defense is back to what we normally expect, and his offense has been through the roof lately. So, got to give a shout out to Trevi. And then Wells, we've always said that he's been running into some bad luck, because all the metrics are saying that he's actually been hitting the ball very, very well and very hard. It's just not finding the right space. But now it is starting to come into fruition a little bit, and his at-bats have been better, and he's just generally been fine. So we've got two strong catchers now. So, and also shout out to Anthony Rizzo, man. His average is shot right up into the high 260s. He's seen the ball well. I loved what he did, where he put the bat head on the ball with that when the changeup outside, and he lined it into the gap for a base hit early to help us with a rally that scored us the runs that gave us the lead, so that Rodon could cruise through the game. So, you know what? Shout out to Anthony Rizzo too, because it looks like this is the Rizzo that we know and love, and he's playing much better of late.
Yeah, no, that's ties into what we were saying earlier in the show. Everything's tying together. Everybody's playing. Everybody's doing their part. And this is what makes a successful team. So we're starting actually. The other thing is, going back with the pitching. At least we're finally at least getting some length out of these arms. and giving the bullpen a little bit of a break. Because the bullpen was looking like it was starting to fry out a little bit. Hamilton wasn't looking as sharp, although his numbers are still good. Ferguson completely fell off. He got overused. And Holmes has been as I mean, you talk about it. If there's one guy on the roster, you go, and I did not see that coming. That's Clay Holmes, because nobody saw this coming. We didn't think he was going to be that good. Not like the closer on the other side of town. Who's making all him and his stupid little freaking trumpets. Was you got to feel whatever.
What did he ever do to you? Leave Edwin Diaz alone. I actually like the trumpet thing. It's actually fun. Give them something to be happy about, right? The Mets have struggled, and look, I'll feel a little sympathy for the Mets fans. They thought they were going to be champions, and obviously that whole plan blew up in their face, and at least they have something to be happy about. When Diaz comes out, it's like a freaking fiesta out there for the people that are still going to Citi Field. And when they start winning, they'll fill up that stadium and it'll be loud. Leave Edwin Diaz alone. The guy just came back from an injury. Didn't he tear his knee or his ACL? Like, let's give him a little break. He's still really freaking good.
Yeah, he is.
The only sympathy I have for Mets fans is, like, how many times are they going to be up in the ninth inning for him to even be useful, for there to be trumpets and things like that? 1 in every 10 games? 1 in every 15? Good luck, Met fans. Because this is the only thing I have to look forward to is the ninth inning with the trumpets. Or maybe Mrs. Met. Maybe that's the.
I mean, thank God. Imagine having to put up with that. I mean, they are. It's terrible over there. They're trying every gimmick in the book. They can't even get people in their stadium.
Yeah, would you want to go watch that product? It's not very good baseball. There's some really cool Mets fans that we have met through the SportsWire network and through Twitter, and I see a lot of complaining. So I'm glad to be on the other side of that right now, because we were doing this last year. So I do feel a little sympathy for them. What they're going through right now is similar to what we were going through. We sucked.
Where's Nick?
I say a very small amount of them. The rest of them, like the ones that we're cool with, I feel bad for them a little bit. But the rest of them go for themselves. I'm glad that's happening.
For them, this is them. This is actually them. They've always been a gimmick team. They always have been. They're just really, really digging into it. So I kind of appreciate that they're not even hiding it anymore. We are a gimmick, sad, useless team. So we need all the gimmicks in the world. We need cheerleaders, and we need Mr. Met and Mrs. Met, and we need apples flying up and down when we hit home runs, and we need trumpets when we occasionally win a game. So it's pretty much perfect for the Mets. But let's focus on the Mets when we actually play them, because otherwise they don't matter. What about the Twins? The one thing I've noticed about the Twins is why they've got 2 logos. Why is, like, when they bat they've got one logo, and then when they field they've got another logo? Can you not focus on one logo? We got one. How many logos do you need? One of them looks like the Marlins logo too.
The M?
With the N and the star, It looks like a Marlins thing.
Well, twin logos for the Twins. I don't fucking know what they're doing. Look, it's the Minnesota Twins. When have we ever worried about them?
No, look at it. What are they? Like, why is there a Marlins logo? Like, that M is a Marlins thing, I'm sure. I've seen the Marlins with a similar logo.
I do like their stadium, though. It's a lot better than playing in that circular dump that was the Metrodome. So,
no, that's true.
They do have a really nice stadium. And look, they got a good team over there. So I'm not going to talk too much garbage about it, but I just hope that we can take care of business against them. We won't see them again. We don't see them very often. So when we do play them, it's nice to beat up on them, to remind them that when we see them and when it matters the most, they can't beat us. That's all we know. When it comes to October baseball.
DC's deal. You're right, man. So I was watching the MLB Network's telecast of the game. And then they interviewed one of the Twins. And one of the questions was, and how long have you been keeping your sausage? And I was like, what now? And he's like, about 11 or 12 days. And I'm like, what am I missing here? I only looked down on my phone for 2 seconds, and now we're talking about a 12-year-old sausage. 12-day-old sausage. Like, what is happening? But apparently this is a this is a thing in Minnesota. I have no further knowledge, but there's an old sausage kicking around for like 2 weeks. That they're what is happening? What is happening?
I'm just glad we got the dog barking.
Thank God we're Yankee fans, is all I've got to say.
Yeah.
We don't need gimmicks. We don't need 3-week-old sausages. We don't need
15
multiple logos.
logos.
We're just us. We're old school and we win. Simple as. God.
Nah, these gimmicks are getting out of control. They really are. It's so unnecessary.
But do you guys have any knowledge about this sausage thing? Rob, have you heard anything about it?
I couldn't care less. Let the teams have fun. If it works for them, that there was the rally. What did the Mets have? They had like the rally pimp for a little while, but then Martino got all butthurt about it. For some reason, it was a guy dressed up like a pimp, and they started winning games. It was like, oh, the rally pimp, and they were enjoying it and having a good time. And then Martino had to go and throw a pity party about it. I think it's good to have something fun, because we have the dog barking thing. That's pretty gimmicky, and that's ridiculous when you think about it. But it's fun. We all do it. We're barking. When you see Verdugo get a hit, we go whoop whoop. See, so we're not immune to it. So every team's got their thing. A few years ago, it was the thumbs down. That was simple, but the pimp got arrested. Okay, never mind. The pimp got arrested. Take it back.
Oh,
that's typical. He was what did he do? Would he go after Mrs. Met? What did the pimp do? Joan, if you have more information, I'd love to find out about how the Mets rally pimp got arrested. That is fantastic.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Only in Queens would that happen.
But Frederick and TC Steels is clearly wanting us to move on. So let's it's like pressing on. Okay. So pressing on. Let's look ahead to the rest of the series. What's tonight's matchup?
You have who's on tonight? Heel?
Stroman versus Lopez.
Stroman on the mound. Thank you, Anafi, for that. I didn't expect that to be dead air. I apologize. No. Okay, the Stro Show is on the mound.
Good.
You know what? Stroman has been a little bit like up and down. So let's see if we can get a better outing from the Stro Show.
A lot of walks. That's what I.
Yeah,
that's my issue with
problem, and he always has that one inning where he gets hit around. But
yeah.
Once he gets past that one inning, he's actually been very consistent. So I'm not too worried about Stroman. He said, as long as like Rob said, as long as he gets those walks down, and he keeps the ball in the park, he does have a habit of giving up some home runs.
Yeah, he does.
That's really the only criticism you have of him. He's been a pretty solid starter for us.
Yeah, but I thought he sucked against Houston. We were very, very lucky that it didn't get any worse than it did. The 9 hits and 4 earned runs and the 2 walks. He's very, very fortunate that it wasn't worse. So what I will say about him is that he got out of a lot of sticky jams in that game. But in general, a 2-2 record with 3.80 ERA and a 150 WHIP. The WHIP is a little high. Like 150 is a little on the high side, but in general, he's been okay. He's been not great lately, though.
But he is pitching basically to what his numbers usually are. His ERA is a bit lower usually. Last year was kind of an outlier because he was a Cy Young before he got hurt. But normally he tends to be around mid to high 3s, maybe a little bit lower at some. So we'll see if Joan brings up a good point. He usually starts strong and falters. Maybe this year's second half will be better. And he hasn't been bad. He's had a couple of like the Houston start, like you mentioned, wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. His Miami start was rough. That game against Miami was rough. But overall he's been fine. It hasn't been great. He hasn't been terrible. I think he's been just fine. So if this is a case where he starts off up and down and then gets hot the second half for once, I'll take it. But he's giving you innings. He's not pitching you out of games. I think so far he's been okay, but we can certainly use better out of a guy getting $18 million. That I will say. But I don't think he's been bad where you're like, how did we sign him? Well, what did we do? We could have had Imanaga, who's got an ERA below 1.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
He looks
outstanding.
fantastic. Oh, my God. He looks so good.
Look, Chicago, they struck on that one. Yeah, and maybe him and Yamamoto should switch contracts. But
I like the idea of an Imanaga signing. The more I was thinking about it, I actually was thinking, you know what? That might low-key be a good signing. There might be some value in that. But I know it's early, but damn, he looks really freaking good.
But like,
so does Dylan Cease.
Small hands.
The 3 pitchers that I was wanting after the Yamamoto signing were Corbin Burns, Dylan Cease, and Shota Imanaga. They have all been lights out.
Lights out.
See,
and they're all Cy Young candidates.
All Cy Young.
Could have had all 3 if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
For being honest, we could have had all 3. We could have had 2 of those 3. I was like, go get me Dylan Cease and Imanaga, and I'll be more than satisfied with this offseason. And I'm fine with where our pitching. Don't get me wrong, but man, oh man, if we would have had Dylan Cease or Imanaga on this team, we'd probably have at least another 4 or 5. I think maybe another 3, 4 wins. We'd definitely be at 30. We'd be in first place, I think.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. But we're kind of there anyway. Do you know what? Yeah. I have to give Aaron Boone a little bit of credit here, man, because as I say, he gets a kind of a hard time along other content creators, but I'm looking at the situation that we're in here, and wow, like, bro, we're percentage points behind the Orioles. We're basically identical record as the Baltimore Orioles, the best record in the American League, and we have third or fourth best record in all of baseball, and we're doing all this without Garrett Cole, and we did this with Aaron Judge, who wasn't hitting for the first 3 weeks of the year. So. And we're doing it without DJ LeMahieu. We're kind of had some guys that were injured, and Torres has been an abomination, and yet we're still got one of the best records in all of baseball. Like, and then when you also look at deep down in the rotation, he's had to really manage Luis Gil, keep him confident after that little stretch of 2 games where he was struggling to find the strike zone. His confidence was hit after the stuff from the umpires. But now he's throwing absolute lightning out there, and he looks fantastic. There has to be an element of management in that. Clay Holmes has been a different pitcher than he was last year. Has to be an element of management in that. I'm not saying it's all Aaron Boone. Obviously, it's the whole front office and the whole coaching staff. But I think they're doing a good job. Like, what am I missing here? Like, I have nothing to complain about. And also, our bullpen, apart from Clay Holmes, doesn't miss any bats. Yet, it's the bullpen's numbers are very, very good. That, again, says to me that it's being managed very, very well. So, if you're really looking at it, like, what's the complaint with Aaron Boone?
Thank you, Cold Italian Pizza. I thought we were actually down by half a game. I forgot that Baltimore lost the other day. But, yeah, I thought we were down by half a game. But, look, this is not me complaining that we didn't get these guys. I just really wanted them, and it sucks to see them being so good and being like, "Haha, I told you so." But you are right. We could have been down in the dumps, like with the way Judge was struggling. We had a 1-man offense, and we could have been 500 team without Juan Soto with the way things were going early on. But this team has fought through it. Everything that could have derailed them, they fought through it so far. So I mean, everything's been a lot better than you could have thought. Without Garrett Cole, to get this kind of pitching has been fantastic. But stack wins is all we need. Keep stacking series wins. Next time we see Baltimore, beat up on them because
that's what they're doing. I really can't complain about the job. I think this is actually the best management job he's done.
Yeah.
Since the first half of 2022.
Yeah, but I'm much more confident about this team. I felt that there was a ceiling with that team. I don't feel that there's a ceiling with this team. This ceiling, I feel the sky's the limit.
Yeah, 'cause when we lost Cole, we were like, we thought that was it. It's like how the hell what is this staff going to be able to do without Cole? And really, all we were asking, just keep your heads above water until he comes back, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see who fits where. When Cole, just think of where this team can go with the way they're playing now. When they do get Cole back in that the mix, it's going to be insane. Yeah, and it's going to be one of those. Who's the odd man out? What do they do with the rotation? We can go. We talked about that the other day, and we'll definitely dive deeper into that as time goes on, because we don't have to worry about that right now. But this team is just they're clicking, and it's when you saw, like I was saying, the struggles with Judge in the beginning. We didn't know. We all knew what Soto was, but you had to have in the back. I know I had in the back of my head, the adjustment to the New York media, the crowd, as much as they were rallying around him. Sometimes it takes a player a little while to get adjusted to a new environment. He fit right in. Verdugo's been a pleasant surprise. We all knew he was a good ball player, but what was he going to be now that he was on our team? We didn't know what was going on with DJ. Like, there were so many question marks, and here we are, half game, in first place. It's hard to wrap your head around, but you're enjoying every second of it.
And fans will find a way to nitpick. This is how it is. Well, Gleyber Torres, we should have traded him for when we could. Well, that stuff's in the past now. There are things that we could be upset about, sure, but this team is 28-15 right now. I don't know what the exact record is, but we're closing in on 30 wins. That's huge. We're going to be one of the first teams to 30. I don't know exactly where we are in the standings in overall baseball, but we could be the first to 30 in the AL. Currently have half a game lead in first, 28-15. Thank you, NFE. That's great. 13 games over without the best pitcher in baseball, with our best hitter struggling for the first month. I mean, this has been great. So the Phillies are at 30. All right, so maybe we'll be the first in the AL. Here we go. The Phillies have been fantastic. I'll give the Phillies credit.
They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
And I didn't miss you, Sunil. Stop putting my name in your mouth. Jesus.
But Jason's right, man. Like, we're somewhere in this podcast. We call it as we see it. We'll criticize if something needs criticized, and we'll praise when something needs praised. We don't have any agendas. We don't have anything like that. We just kind of call it as we see it. Sometimes it's turned out otherwise. Sometimes it's turned out well. Sometimes it hasn't. It really depends. Like, as a podcast, we've generally been down on Boone, but this year we're giving him a new, fresh slate, clean slate, and it's paying off. And I'm very happy with what he's given me as a manager. I can't ask any more than what he's given me right now this year.
Yeah, and Jones' comment here fits into that. If you don't notice a manager or an ump, that's a good thing. Mr. Barrows, we have the fourth best record in baseball, and that's what people are going to complain about. Well, we should be first. We're the Yankees. We shouldn't be losing any games. How do you lose a game when you're a Yankee? They want to nip it. They'll find anything. Like, it's those fans. I call them. I always say the worst fans, the ones where a pitcher could throw a perfect game, and they'll still find something to complain about. Well, we would have had it much easier. If he had taken that route on the ball, we wouldn't have had to hold our breath for the catch. Like, just shut up. Shut up. Enjoy it. This is supposed to be, this is not supposed to be something that drives you, drives us crazy sometimes. But they're in first place. That's what we asked for. Now they're 10 games of, they got past the 10 games above. Now they're going to work their way up to 15 games above, and just go with it. Stop nitpicking.
Yeah. Is Jason yelling at here? Fans don't like being told how to fan. Yeah, well, some fans need to be told. Some fans don't need to be told. It is what it is with that. But best record in the AL, that much I do know. All the other teams are, the NL is stacked right now. Atlanta, Philly, LA. The NL Central is actually not that bad considering what their teams were. Look, just be happy that we're in the American League and really have one team right now that we got to really, really worry about, and that is, well, I'm definitely going to worry about Texas when they get healthy, because when they get those arms back, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They're a good team otherwise. They're still a good team, defending champions. But we got to take care of business against Baltimore. That's it. When we play Baltimore next time, we got to beat them. Because I think that's our biggest test, is can we take care of Baltimore consistently enough? Because we haven't shown that. 1-3 against them so far, and they made us look pretty bad. So I'm looking forward to seeing.
We need to be building for how do we beat Baltimore for us to get to the World Series, because I think we're pretty evenly matched, but right now they're a little bit more athletic. So that's maybe something that we can focus on. But so far, we're the class of the American League along with the Orioles. And we're pretty good shape. And we're doing that without Garrett Cole. So once we get Garrett Cole, then we'll be that much better. But I think the one thing the Orioles have is, judging by that last series, is they have that just slightly more athletic approach. But I think that will get better for us, because we've got so many guys coming through the minors. My God. Got a lot of talent, and we got guys that are starting to hit the ball better now, see the ball better than they were in the last Orioles series. So I think we're very evenly matched with Baltimore. So, let's kind of agree. I think that's what we should be targeting: how to neutralize the Orioles/Rangers. That's going to be the key to moving forward. But all good as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot to be excited about, and bring on tonight.
We also have guys coming back from injury too. Not even talk about the pitching side. We got Canely coming back mid-season. We'll have Efros. Trevino will be an option. I'm actually really excited to see what they do with Brubaker, because I think he can be an action. The way Matt Blake has worked with certain pitchers that have these high ERAs that come from Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm hoping he can work some magic with Brubaker. I think we got him for 2 years, so might as well. And we gave up Kiner Delgado to get him, so I'm hoping that they can turn him into a legitimate weapon. Maybe not like a top of the rotation guy, but if he can be a guy that gives you some innings out of the pen, and then next year as a potential starter, I'm excited to see what they do with him.
Yeah, it's the enforcements coming back definitely are only going to strengthen what's already a strong team. In regards with the Baltimore series, look, they just kind of caught, they caught us sleeping, for a series, and it sucks that it was an AL, it was a rival, it's a divisional series, and we kind of let it slip away, but it was only determined by a play or two. It's not like they just came in and just embarrassed us. If you had guys like, don't forget also in that series, Judge still wasn't Judge yet. Stanton was we had guys that were really struggling still, and still making their way back to their form. I think if they played us now, I think it'd be a different outcome. Because the way that the bats are playing, the pitching, is not wasn't the problem, but you can't win games if you don't put up runs, and that's what we were seeing in that series. But
Jason, I disagree. I do not want Mason Miller on the Orioles because I do not want to see that.
I care.
For the next 5-10 years. Please don't let the Orioles get him. If the A's trade him, they'd be foolish to do it because they're actually winning some games this year. They haven't been terrible. You keep Mason Miller. Do not trade him to the Orioles. But if you trade him, put him in the NL. Put him in the NL or somewhere in the AL Central where we don't have to see him very much. I don't want Mason Miller in Baltimore. Please, God, no.
No way.
And I know they have the farm system to get that trade done. That's what scares me.
Yeah. And they're definitely going to, not Baltimore. Keep him out of the East right now. But a lot of people are saying then, a lot of writers and some other, people on Twitter and X or whatever it is, they're worried about his arm falling off because he throws so fast. There's questions about his durability. And so, who knows what they're going to do with him. But I think that he's one of those guys that they need to hold on to for when they make the move to Vegas. You're going to need names to bring people in. He's going to be a name. So, but that's the A's. That's what the A's to worry about. What their future is. All we know is we have a game to play tonight that they need to win. Just keep winning series. That's it. Just keep winning the series. Because as long as you're winning the series, you'll keep your head above, and it really just strengthens the team. It's the confidence, and the Yankees are playing with so much confidence right now. But that's going to wrap things up for us today. I want to thank everybody for hanging out on this Wednesday with us. Just remember to hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. This has been another fabulous show with you guys on the Pitchside Chronicles.
Thank you for the excellent comments, everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the new people that hopped in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you guys in future shows. And Jason, yeah, absolute pleasure talking to you too. And shout out to Medina as well.
Yes, we all send our thoughts with Medina. So on that note, remember, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.